I'll catch up. I just want to snag the last Diet Dew.
Trivia is a booming genre, and even though you may not play HQ anymore, you did it one time, right? Well, if you have not caught up on your trivia in a bit, here is a little to keep you going. The top 10 untold truths of Mountain Dew.
Trade that refreshing Diet Dew for an autograph.
Mountain Dew comes from slang.
Yeah, he's just talking street.
Mountain Dew. Did you ever wonder how such a name came about? Well, it was actually a slang term for moonshine. It was used by Scottish and Irish people who immigrated to Appalachia, which is in the eastern United States and stretches from New York to Alabama and Georgia. When the Scottish and Irish immigrants got to the Appalachian region, they came to know the illegally distilled corn liquor that was circulating among the people of the mountains.
Toward that mountain.
This liquor, that is more commonly known as moonshine, was dubbed Mountain Dew for obvious location reasons. It was the alcohol of the mountains. How cool! Since moonshine is a black market product and spent no time being aged in barrels, it is basically the same as white whiskey. Whiskey gets its dark color from barrel aging. But how did this nickname for moonshine come to be the name of the soda we know and love? Also, why does it matter that moonshine is basically an unaged whiskey? Let's find out with our next fact.
And I'm here to give you the facts.
Mountain Dew was made for mixing.
Because I'm a mixologist.
There was a lack of mixers for alcoholic beverages. Soft drinks were becoming popular in the 1930s, and apparently there was nothing that piqued the fancy of these brothers. So they set out to create something new that would mix well with, you guessed it, whiskey.
So you mean whiskey?
Apparently, a guy named Carl E. Retsky suggested the Hartman brothers call their mixer Mountain Dew, though nothing is really known about this guy other than he brought up the name at an Owens, Illinois Incorporated meeting in Toledo, Ohio. Owens, Illinois Incorporated is a Fortune 500 company that specializes in glass container products. Based on this information, it is safe to assume the Hartman boys were there looking to bottle their mixer, which was already produced, and were simultaneously looking for a name, and some guy who had heard about the slang from Appalachia was there and happened to suggest it, and it stuck. The Hartman brothers don't regret the Mountain Dew suggestion, that's for sure.
I used to be so sure about everything.
The old slogan paid tribute to slang.
Like those poor guys who had to come up with a new ad campaign.
Mountain Dew has a pretty neat backstory, and the name itself is full of heritage. When the soda product called Mountain Dew was first launched, it took this rich history into consideration and had a barefooted mountain man as its mascot.
I'm the mascot of an evil corporation.
The man always had a great big smile and a big beard. He looks like a trusting guy that you would not mind sitting down on the side of the Appalachian Trail with to share a mixed drink. The slogan was, "Yahoo Mountain Dew, it'll tickle your innards." In one commercial, the man yelled, "Sure as shootin', there's a bang in every bottle." Doesn't this sound like fun and make you want to go out and buy one of these? The only problem is these bottles are not out there anymore. However, if you do want to find them for collecting reasons, you can. You can easily acquire an old bottle that has the Mountain Man and the Mountain Range on it for under $100 on eBay.
Could get more than that on eBay.
The original Mountain Dew tasted more like 7-Up.
It's the 7-Up guy.
Yep, that's right. If those Hartman brothers went into any convenience store today to pick up a Mountain Dew, they would be shocked by its taste and probably its color, too. They may like 7-Up, though. The OG Mountain Dew had a lemon and lime flavor, just like 7-Up. It was also a clear liquid, once again, like 7-Up. Apparently, Mountain Dew did not have any caffeine in it either. What it did have instead was mood-enhancing lithium salts. Why mood-enhancing? Well, lithium is a drug that is now used to treat bipolar disorder. The drug helps to stabilize mood swings, which could be interpreted as enhancing if you are a particularly moody person. Lithium is also known to make people thirsty.
I know. I'm so thirsty.
This is pretty counterintuitive if you are drinking the lithium salts in a beverage and actually becoming even thirstier. Or wait, maybe this is genius. The original Mountain Dew would not quench thirst, but make you want even more, so you would buy more of the product. This is clever on a I want to make more money level, but not particularly on a I want to sell an honest product that is healthy and safe level. Right? Either way, Mountain Dew no longer has lithium in it, so there is no need to worry. It does have caffeine, though, which can give you a bit of a buzz.
Of course I've been up all night. Not because of caffeine, it was insomnia.
Mountain Dew was supposed to be really caffeinated.
I'm brand new to coffee, so I don't want too much.
Mountain Dew is a drink that will get you going and give you a buzz much more than other sodas on the market. One can of Mountain Dew is over 50% more caffeinated than a can of Coca-Cola. What that means is there is about 55 milligrams of caffeine in one can of Mountain Dew. To put that into perspective, an 8.2-ounce can of Red Bull has 80 milligrams of caffeine.
Red Bull? What the hell is Red Bull?
So this is a lot of caffeine for one soda. However, it was supposed to have even more caffeine than this. Allegedly, there was one recipe that had so much caffeine in it that the caffeine crystallized and formed what looked like slivers of ice or fine shards of glass. Isn't that crazy? Since this whole caffeine thing has been a big deal for Mountain Dew, they have offered a caffeine-free option that has the same taste, but less of the bang than the regular one.
Half calf?
Right, half can.
Mountain Dew is banned in over 100 countries.
Looks like our lifetime ban just expired.
Say what? Really? Banned? Like it is illegal to have it kind of banned? Oh yes, Mountain Dew is banned in over 100 countries because it has some pretty iffy ingredients. Let's go over it all so you can really understand what you are drinking if you drink Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew or grape juice?
First of all, it has brominated vegetable oil, BVO. The problem with this ingredient is the bromine it contains. Bromine is a toxic chemical that can cause all kinds of health issues that we won't get into here, but go ahead and look them up. Apparently, other soda companies have pledged to remove BVO from their drinks, so check your cans. Now, the other reason that Mountain Dew is banned is because of the pH levels that determine the drink's erosive potential. Mountain Dew has a pH value of 3.22. So this means it is very acidic and can cause some decay and erosion in the mouth and body. For reference, tap water is at about 6.7 pH. When you put this together with all of the sugar, 46 grams per can, the rate of decay gets even higher. So now you know.
What else you need to know?
Mountain Dew does not cause infertility.
It can cause infertility.
Mountain Dew is banned in numerous places, and that can be kind of scary. But really, it isn't as bad as all that. You may have heard online, in the playground, at work, or on the radio that Mountain Dew causes infertility, that it reduces sperm count. This is not true.
Tell me it is not true.
The reason people have been throwing around this rumor was because of the high amount of caffeine and the yellow number 5. Studies have shown that Mountain Dew does have some negatives, but this is not one of them. The Nutrition Journal took this rumor to heart and reviewed 28 studies that have been done on Mountain Dew and fertility. They looked specifically at the different sperm measurements in drinkers of this soda and found that there was no astonishing effect. So calm down. You can still have kids.
Have you considered adoption?
EDTA may be what is saving Mountain Dew.
We're a chemical mixture that makes chaos.
What is EDTA? Well, it is a chemical that is super hard to pronounce, and it probably is what's saving Mountain Dew from being banned everywhere. It is ethylene diamine tetracetic. This is what prevents the sodium benzoate from reacting with the vitamin C that is in the drink. If the sodium benzoate reacted with the vitamin C, it would produce benzene, which is a known carcinogen. Carcinogens are bad because they cause cancer in living tissue.
None of you say anything about cancer.
But the EDTA is stopping that from appearing. Yes, without this one chemical, Mountain Dew would be a very risky thing to drink. But the EDTA is there to save the day. It is there stopping bad things from occurring. That should come as a relief. The manufacturers seem to know what they are doing, I guess.
Good guess.
The Great Depression made Mountain Dew possible.
We called it a Great Depression.
Let's go back to the original creators of Mountain Dew, the Hartman brothers. In 1927, they were part of the team that was assembling Orange Crush in Augusta. Then the Great Depression happened. Quick historical reminder for those who have forgotten the details of this dismal time. The Great Depression started in 1929 and lasted well into the 1930s. It was all because of the stock market crash of October 29, 1929. This day has become known as Black Tuesday. Now, back to our Hartman brothers who were working hard in Augusta on Orange Crush. Well, their plant suffered particularly badly and ended up filing for bankruptcy in 1932.
What do you mean I'm broke?
When this happened, the brothers moved to Knoxville, where they continued to work on the Orange Crush franchise. Things were better in Tennessee, and the brothers worked hard in the plant, drinking something called Natural Setup. This was a lemon and lime flavored soda. Since the brothers loved the flavor so much, and they wanted something of their own to mix with whiskey, they decided to use the soda-making machines they had at their disposal to create their own blend. There you have it. That is how the Great Depression led to a product that would eventually become the Mountain Dew you know today.
I know you know.
Mountain Dew was originally called Personal Setup.
Never, ever let it get personal.
Before the meeting at Owens, Illinois Incorporated, which would give the drink the Mountain Dew name, the Hartman brothers were calling it Personal Setup. This is because of the drink that inspired it was called the Natural Setup. The word personal replaced natural because the soda was being brewed for personal use only. At the time, the Hartmans used the drink as a novelty item in their home, popping it out if they were serving drinks for guests. They felt special with this because it was something only they had access to. Their guests obviously loved it and wanted some for themselves. Both brothers wanted to be moguls. Breaking off from Orange Crush to pursue their own soda dreams was probably inevitable. The success of their personalized version of the Natural Setup gave them the push they needed to bring this great soda to the mass public. Their ideas were great.
I just got an idea.
Their determination was greater, and now everyone who is a Mountain Dew drinker can actually thank the Orange Crush plants for being the first place that Mountain Dew was made. Pretty neat, huh? Though Personal Setup is a neat name, it is nowhere near as cool as Mountain Dew. The whole story behind the name is much, much more interesting than just having Personal Setup. That being said, everything has a history, and now we know everything there is to know about the name behind the drink. It is better to be informed, so go ahead and enjoy your Mountain Dew. As you drink, think about how crazy a history this one beverage has. It has changed names, it has changed color, it has changed ingredients, but it has still remained popular with the people.
You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
Thirsty for more? Just tap on that screen for more great videos. And if it's your first time here, show us some love and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join our notification squad.